do you want to go through and get some boxes?
Yes, absolutely.
Look at all these things. So many things. So hello YouTube friends.
Hi.
I'm up here in the workroom, shipping room, workroom, sorting office, whatever we're going to call it.
Sorting office is my favourite.
The sorting office is what my granddaughter Agnes calls it. And so I think, as we're doing a lot of sorting today, I think sorting office is a very good description for it.
Definitely.
So we've been storing and collecting together things that have been in the shop, and there's only a few left, or things that I really like making but haven't got many of. What would you say? There's a few bits and pieces lying around, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. Lots of treasures.
Oh, they're all treasures. And so we're going to have a summer sale of treasures, but we're going to bundle them together in an interesting way. And so what we've got here is a few of the books that I've written. Now, I used to pack these up in bundles of 7, and they were available like that, or you could buy them one at a time. But then I completely sold out of all the Norma books. So there are no longer any books about Norma. And so what I've decided is that I need to move the last of these few books on so that we can make way for perhaps some new writing. And so we've got books here, and what I'm doing to make them I think a little bit more fun is I'm putting a stamp in, and Anna's got the Goose Stamp, and you're going to be putting the Goose Stamp in the Goose book. And then when Anna's done that, I'm going to sit here and sign them all so that they're a little bit more personal, a little bit more friendly. So I'm going to sit here and do that for a while.
I've not seen the Goose Stamp before.
Martha carved it, and the cat. Aren't they beautiful?
So clever.
So the Goose Stamp.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to sign some of these so that you can have a signed copy of these books. So I've been thinking for ages about how to offer these books for sale. And I wonder if you remember, last Christmas, all my family getting involved in making these, which were the paper packets that the little Liberty Christmas trees went in. Well, they got carried away and they made quite a few extra. And so I think that I might just fill this with all sorts of bits and pieces from this part of the Emporium. I have some of these, which only a very few of these. These were the stickers that I made to put in the Christmas boxes last year, and so I'll put one of those in every packet until I run out. So in this basket here then, I've got some photographs here, things that I've loved to take pictures of throughout the years, and they're just ordinary photographs. And so when I run out of stickers, I'll put one of these in your packet, and when I run out of pictures, what I've got here is some little slips of stickers that I got years ago, and I might stick one of those on the outside of your packet, or I might put a little strip of stickers in. I think what this little bundle's going to be is like bits and pieces of everything, and you won't know what you're going to get until you open it. That's the fun. I'm going to choose at random 3 of these books, and some of the books will be ones that were in the Christmas boxes. Can you pass me the book at the front of that pack there, just one of them? So this one, for instance, was in the Christmas boxes, and no one will have seen that unless they got a Christmas box. But there were a few extras. I really like the cover of that one.
I do.
It's with the tiles that I took this picture in Lisbon when I went to the Tile Museum. So it might be that one, the goose, something else. There's just a few copies of some of these books left. So I'm going to make a bumper bundle. Oh, there's one more thing that might be in there. Because in here, I cut lots of paper hexagons from children's books, and I was cutting lots of these, but not enough to put in the shop. and have as a proper product. So I think a pack of those might go in your bundle as well. So all of those things, and then anything else that I can think of. So that's what Anna and I are going to do today. I'm going to sign some of these books, and then we're going to pack some of these into these little envelopes for you. Are you enjoying doing that?
Yes, very satisfying.
It is, isn't it? And that's a good way to stack them so that I can just get them over here and write in them. Thank you. Now, that's this little section with the little books, but there's loads more. So we'll get on and do a few of these, and then we'll show you a few more of the things that we've got. Now let me tell you about what's in this box here. I wonder if you remember a while ago, I wrapped them in red that time, but whenever I was doing a Liberty project and I had any tiny, tiny little Liberty scraps left over, in fact, look, that's a block there, that one, but just a little bit from the trip around the world quilt I made, another bit of a run here, just small pieces of Liberty. Actually, there's some quite big ones in here, but some of these will be quite tiny little scraps like that. You know, but I think that if someone had the patience and the imagination, you could make that into a lovely birthday card with Liberty bunting all the way along the top. So what I've done with these is I've bundled them up into, I think they're 50 grams in here. I can't quite remember. And I've rolled them up in my fish and chip way, like this, and these will be for sale in the shop. Only that number, that's all I have. So I'll roll that one up a little bit better and do that. So there's those. Now let's see. Oh look, there's a couple of these. I want to show you these. When we got the company to make these aprons for us with the Last Homely House logo on and Eileen the Goose, they sent me, without me asking them, they sent me 2 or 3 of these bags, which just to see if they were something that I wanted to produce for the shop. And I never did, but I have these couple left over here, so I'll bundle those up and add that to an order as well. There's just 2. And that's what this summer sale, the Emporium, is all about, really. It's about finding new homes for a few of these treasures. Now, this is a cushion that I made a few of a number of years ago. And this is a lovely hand-quilted Liberty cushion with a 12-inch cushion pad in. And I think what I might do, because I really, really enjoyed making those, I might actually go through this box of Liberty and find some more and make a couple more of those so that you can see how I make them. So this is my Liberty stash here. And what I like about these cushions is there's just two colours. There's another one here. I like this one very much. There's just 2 colours of blue on that one, and then the whole thing's hand quilted. So let's see if we can find something in this box here that would make another one of those cushions, or maybe a couple if I get the idea to do them. So there's all sorts in here. Oh, look at this. This is a piece of Strawberry Thief, which I absolutely love that. Now there's enough there to make a cushion like this, so maybe we put that to one side. And as well in this box there's some plain Liberty Tana Lawn. I've had these things for years. Let's see if we can dig down and find some more of the plains. Yeah, here they are. Here they are. Now that's a beautiful colour. That would go very, very nicely with maybe this. So I do like the idea of keeping just 2 colours in this. And this is the colour that I made this one with. That lovely sort of grey. Lovely, with a tiny green in it as well. So I think we might make another one of these cushions. Yeah, I think we'll do that. Oh, there's some lovely pink. There's quite a lot of that. Oh, I'm in this box now. I could be some time. That's a nice one. What I need though is a very, very nice contrasting colour to go with that. So these cushions, existing cushions, will be for sale in the shop, but then I think I might make a couple more. And I think that's what this shop is all about, really. It's I can't make enough of these for everybody to have one, but I have got a few, and I can make one or two more, but I can't make things in the scale that I need to anymore. But I do love making things. So yes, I think that's definitely going to go downstairs. There's another thing I've just spotted here. Let's see what's in that box there. Let's bring this box over. Oh, now then, this is an interesting box. If anybody got the Christmas boxes over the last few years, then we have the soap dishes that John made. I think there are just a few of those left, maybe 3 of those. 3. And then these are the candle holders that you made last year, and I think there are 5 of those left. So we're going to put those in the shop as utter exclusives. Oh, and then what else is in this box as well? Now, years ago, I used to love making books, and I still do love making books. This is a Coptic bound book, and maybe I'll try and remember. In fact, what I might do, I might make a playlist of all the things that I've made for the Emporium and leave that in the description box below, because I've definitely done tutorials on how to make books like that one and books like this one. That's a Coptic bound book. So this is more of a journal style book. We put them in bags just to keep them nice and clean. So we'll open this one up. I'll have a look inside here. It's again one of these biodegradable cello bags that we put them into. But this is the journal style binding that I used to do, and still would, but you know, when do I get the time to do these anymore? This is a nice little book with some pockets in. Oh, this would be fun to do some little projects in. And this is some of my hand printed paper on the jelly plate. You know, that jelly plate way of printing. So there's fun little books like that, but not enough of them. So that one then is going in the shop. And what have we got here? Maybe 10 books, 15 at the most. But down at the bottom I see these ones. These are books that I loved making. Let's open up one of these, this one. This is the Japanese stab bound book. So I'll show you this one. And this is sort of like the same size as postcards. So this is a sort of postcard size. So you could make this with postcards. And it's a very simple binding with the stab binding here. And what I've done inside is, I won't open it because the person who buys it will do that opening where they crack the spine. And then inside here, there's some lovely watercolour quality paper so that you can do sketches or paintings or collages. And I've really enjoyed doing that in little books like this. I think what this little thing is reminding me is that I love to make all sorts of different things, and lately I just haven't been doing that. So in there then we've got some Coptic bound books, and these will be for sale singly, and some of these tiny little Coptic bound books made out of the pages of Webster's Dictionary. So a little box full of books there. We'll put the soap dishes and the candle holders back in there, and they'll be listed separately as well. And then I've just seen another thing that I like making, and that's these soft boxes. Now I've got these all over the house. I've got one that's got dishwasher tablets in. I've got one that's got all my paracetamol and ibuprofen in the bathroom. I think they just look much nicer than having them in boring pots. Now I've made a few of these over the years, and actually I did make a video about making these maybe 4 or 5 years ago now, so that video will be there. I'll put that in that Emporium playlist. And so these are fun. I love making these. I might make some more of those as well. Let's see how much time we've got, but I might make some more soft boxes. They'll be in the shop. Now then, what else? This is another thing that I haven't made for a long time, and this one, let me see if I can find all the component parts for that. Okay, there they are. So these little bags then, and these are made out of, that's my old curtains from downstairs. This was some fabric that was left over from that. Another lovely bit of upholstery weight fabric. And then there's a few more like then they're lined with what I think's the most important thing, is a little pocket inside, which is the chocolate pocket. Because inside here I put a book that I've really enjoyed reading with a little blurb in the front about why I like the book. There's a bar of chocolate in there. So this is called A Bag, a Book and a Bar. And I used to make these when I had a physical shop. I used to make these. So the bag, a book and a bar, there's a few of those. I'm going to find some of my favourite books and buy some very nice fair trade chocolate. So they'll be in the shop as well. Oh yes, there's a few of those. So what I'd say about the shop is it's open now. And so while you're watching this video, the shop's gone live. And so there'll be some new things that I've made, some more of these. There'll be some packs of bits and pieces, and then these bundles that I'm going to put together. And I hope there's something there that you would like, and something that you would enjoy discovering the secrets of. But now I'm going to have a bit of a tidy round here, sign some more of these books, and then we're going to pack them into these bags, Anna and I. I think that's going to be a load of fun, because we don't know who's going to get what. So pop along to the shop, it's open now. What I would say about the shop as well is that from the date today that it's open, right up until the end of July, we're going to do free shipping anywhere in the world. And so the free shipping thing will include all the things that are in the shop already. And so it might be a time to snag yourself a few Last Homely House things, as well as some of this stuff that we're calling the Emporium. So free shipping worldwide, remember, and that would be tracked as well. And what I would say, one more plea to people, if anyone's thinking of buying anything from the shop. We've had quite a number of orders returned to us lately because there's been insufficient address, or the thing has been failed to deliver. Some of the postman's left a card through the letterbox, but no one's been to collect it. So those two things, the address is wrong, or you know, someone might have left off the number on their street, or they might have left off the town they live in. And so we get these returned to us, and you know, that's a shame, because if you've ordered something and the address is incorrect, and if it was only one or two people, but it's not, it's actually quite a lot of times this has been happening lately. So I'm going to ask you to double check your address when you put it in, please, and that would be good. So go and get your free shipping treats right now, and I'm going to carry on packing up some bits and pieces. I hope you find something you like. So this is one of the cushions that is for sale in what I'm calling my emporium. I really like that word. And I thought I would make another one and show you how I'm making them. And I went through that box and I found these two colours that I really like. This solid Tana lawn, it's the same weight as the Liberty fabric here, and it's absolutely beautiful. So now, are you going to trust my maths? I did maths. Let's see how it goes. How hard can it be? Okay, so to make a 12-inch cushion, which is what this is, I'm going to cut strips that are 1.5 inches wide and 20 inches long, and I need 12 of each colour. And so I've got those now. I've just cut those, given them a nice press and a cut. And then what we're going to do with these is, now sometimes with Liberty it's a little bit hard to tell which is the front and which is the back, but this one's quite clear. So what we're going to do now then is just arrange them like this, with them all in a checkerboard affair like that, and sew them together. So we'll do that at the sewing machine now. Quarter-inch seam all the way along the 20-inch side. Now, when you're sewing narrow strips like this together, and a lot of them, you have to be careful to alternate directions, otherwise you get this kind of bowing effect where all the fabrics all tend to go off to one side, and if you alternate which end you sew from, that won't happen. So I'm going to turn this round now and sew from this end. And when it's just two colours like this, it's really easy to know which one to pick up. You're just picking up the other one. So then when you've attached that one and you open it up, just turn it round so that you can attach the next one to here. Works fine. Okay, so keep doing that then until all 12 of your two colours are all sewn together, and then give them all a good press in one direction, because then when you give them all a good press in one direction, that will help with the nesting seams when you get onto that part. Inch and a half strips then with your panel here, and keep any leftovers, and I'll show you what we'll do with them in a minute. So when you've cut them into inch and a half strips like so, it's a simple matter of turning every alternate one round and stitching them back together again. Beautiful. And so these nesting seams here, one seam's going up and one seam's going down. Now, I've constructed the cushion front already, so here is one I made earlier. And I'm making my favourite envelope backed cushion here. And these pieces, if this is a 12-inch cushion, these pieces here are 12.5 inches by 10 inches. And there's two of those that you sew onto each of the edges here. I've done tutorials on the envelope back cushion before, and so maybe I'll leave a link to that in the description below. So here then, when we fold this over, we fold one end in, the other end in, and there we have our 12-inch cushion. Now, to make it into a quilted cushion, I've laid out a sheet of very thin white cotton, just a bit of scrap cotton. You won't see this, and so whatever you've got. And then quilt wadding or batting, and I've just used up some of my scraps, because we've all got scraps of batting, haven't we? And so I put a couple of those together and laid it all out in the quilt sandwich, in making a little quilt here now, and pinned it all together. Now what makes these cushions, I think, really special is the hand quilting in this diagonal way. So I have these lovely Aurifil cottons which are stranded, and if you look closely you can see that this is stranded just like embroidery thread. It's beautiful, really lovely, and I've got it in some much more subtle colours. So I chose this one. I think it matches in really well, and I'm using 3 strands of this one to do a running stitch in both directions. So we'll go this way, and then we'll construct the quilt. So I'm going to carry on and do that now, and till we get, maybe we'll get to a bit of a finish with this. It's an easy project to do, especially with this envelope back. It makes it very, very simple. So if you have a little extra of your pieces here, then on one edge of the cushion envelope back, you can stitch that onto there to neaten it. You only need to do one edge because the other edge will be inside the cushion. So like this one here, the envelope back's like this, and this one inside, you don't see this one. So I've just neatened off one of them here, and I've done the same with this one. So I'm going to carry on now and quilt this and see if we can get this finished in time for it to be in the Emporium. Well, I'm at my favourite bit now, which is the hand quilting part, and I'm going to carry on and hand quilt all of this with this beautiful Aurifil thread. The shop's live now if you wanted to go along and have a look and see if there's any of these things that you would like to have. And next time I've got a lovely video coming for you, and I look forward to sharing that with you. So give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to, and we'll see you next time with that video. Thanks so much for watching.